Alright, folks, and welcome back. So, it is finally able to be played. Ultimate General American Revolution is here. It's an early access period. You have to buy this directly from Game Labs themselves in order to actually be able to play. It's not available on Steam yet, but I wanted to get to check this out as quickly as possible because I am a huge fan of American General Civil War. I do plan on actually playing that at some point in time on the channel, but I've been focused with Ultimate Admiral, and so I just haven't started playing it yet. And this became available, and yeah, we're going to be playing. So we're going to be playing the campaign.
Every person is born to do something great. Every day they have a choice, to take a step closer to their destination or to run away. I was the first child in the family. As the eldest child, I took on much of the responsibility for my younger brothers and sisters.
All right, so we actually have stats here, which is interesting. So intellect increases general line of sight radius, boosts unit attack range damage. Perception boosts unit range attack efficiency. Endurance increases units efficiency, boosts units condition. Charisma boosts units melee attack damage. Willpower boosts units morale regeneration, decreases units morale damage. So right off the bat, perception, endurance, and willpower are definitely like they're definitely going to be like your core things because damage matters, but you get more out of more efficient firearms than with um, damage. So like if you reference back to Ultimate General Civil War, the Lorenz rifle was almost an immediate upgrade that you could obtain, and its efficiency was much higher, but its damage was much lower than that of the Springfield 1842s or 1848s that you had available. So that is that's the case, is that when you're actually firing at distance, the efficiency of fire is much better than the overall damage because you're going to do more DPS over time if your units are more accurate, they can reload faster, etc. In the case of endurance, unit condition has always been a big problem in the Ultimate General games. If your units are not able to get from point A to point B quickly, or they are just completely haggard as soon as they get to the front line, your units perform very, very poorly in the overall battle. So endurance is going to be very important. And then willpower, morale is the key thing. If morale drops on one unit and they're next to another unit, the unit morale that's adjacent to them will drop as well. And so if you can reduce the damage while also increasing the regeneration, your units can stay in the fight for much, much longer. So let's see. So we have intelligence and perception. This officer's natural confidence and constant training of his men and team spirit allowed him to develop a very effective style leading his soldiers in battle. Dominance. This officer has developed a highly strategic mind, mastering and commanding an army and the conducting of a war. This is 5 perception, 5 willpower, which is on par with what we want. He never responsibility. He never disclaimed responsibility for any of his own actions and those of his own staff and his men, like a true leader does. So the extra endurance is actually really nice. We get a couple extra points of intelligence, but we get 3 points of endurance, 3 points of willpower. I'm going to go ahead and go with this.
At the age of 11, I lost my father, and the responsibility for all family affairs passed to me. Plantation management and financial matters became part of my daily routine.
Okay. Trainer General has bigger spotting range. Spotting range plus 25%, so that immediately gets played into intellect. Tactics General has bigger command aura. Command aura is important in this game. A lot of people don't truly appreciate, or it's a big deal in Ultimate general games in general. Um, Most people do not understand the command aura. Basically, as long as your units are within the command aura, they perform much better. So that's why you want to have your generals somewhat close to the line so that they're able to overlap as many units as possible to be able to perform the units to perform to a much higher degree. And then general can move faster, own speed plus 20%. This this would be pretty good if we went a cavalry centric playstyle, but as I've seen so far, I don't think cavalry is that big of a deal. It's not like Ultimate General Civil War, where cavalry corps were a thing. Like you could build out whole corps that were just cavalry. Um, the command aura is, yeah, I'm gonna go with the command aura.
I spent my adolescence studying and managing the family's plantation. My mentor and older half-brother, who was like a father to me, died during our trip to Barbados. His loss affected me greatly.
Okay. Oh, and we get some negatives. Okay, this is the first time this has happened. So, alienation. This officer always tried to maintain a strong bond with his men, but could not overcome the losses, which finally led him to an alienation from his men. -3 endurance, -3 charisma. Depression. This officer's depression has been growing after each battle, together with a concern among his staff about his courage and morale on the battlefield. 3 endurance, 3 willpower, and then pessimism. The arrival of reports about the first failed operation of the war have planted a spirit of gloom and defeatism on this officer. -10 endurance. Oh my god. That is a horrendous debuff. We're going to go with the depression because it would take a smaller hit, and we already have pretty high, yeah, we already have pretty high willpower. No matter what, we're going to take an endurance hit.
At the age of 20, I was appointed commander of the Virginia militia, in part due to my organizational talents. Tensions over control of the Ohio River Valley eventually sparked the French and Indian War. I was able to apply my skilled management to help prepare my troops.
Okay, so we're sitting at 28 intellect, 26 perception, 18 endurance, 24 charisma, and 28 willpower. So we definitely need to raise the endurance a little bit. But we're doing good on the perception and the willpower, in my opinion. And then by effect, we're also getting good intelligence and good charisma. Inspirational speeches. All created units receive additional attributes. Plus 10 willpower. All created units receive. Okay, so it's all units receive an additional willpower, stamina, and firearms. We're gonna go with stamina because our overall attributes are pretty good. Our stamina, our endurance is lacking, and the additional endurance will help our units perform a lot better in battle.
Capturing several French forts, and in spite of some setbacks, we succeeded in driving out the French. My attempts to secure a commission in the army were thwarted by English officers with little respect for my abilities, so I decided to resign. My next steps were...
Okay, so I married a rich widow and started developing my estate, increasing my holdings 5 times. Plus $10,000. We start with additional funding. Plus 25 reputation. And minus tensions with natives. So money has always been important in Ultimate General, but money wasn't the big roadblock that you had to deal with. Reputation was, because reputation could get you a lot of resources really quickly. In Ultimate General Civil War, for example, that you could use to really boost up your overall performance in battle. Now, the tensions with natives, I'm interested in because this is the time period. While there was problems with the natives during the Civil War era, this is during the time period when the natives are still exceptionally powerful within the country. So I'm actually really tempted to take this just to be able to see how this affects the situation with the natives. I'm gonna do it.
Afterwards, I ran for and was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses. In 1774, I was elected as a delegate to the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia. There I helped secure.
All right, so privateers to patrol our coasts. We get +1 warship, recruitment campaign +1 militia unit, and an additional 1,000 muskets. So this game is a lot different. It steps away from Ultimate General being purely land battles. There are naval battles, if I'm correct in this. Just like in Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail, which I will also be playing as well on the channel. So the warship actually sounds pretty freaking solid, because I don't know how, and that's the thing, is I don't know how important warships are going to be, but warships were expensive. Like in Age of Sail, you had a hell of a time getting new ships unless you captured them. Whereas ground forces were easy to acquire. So I'm actually really tempted to go with the warship here. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for it.
Tensions with England have reached a breaking point. In the near future, a confrontation will break out, and I will have to use all my experience to fight for the independence of the colonies.
All right, so we're gonna be playing on normal here, because we're just getting into the game. We're checking it out. So our intelligence is 71, perception 57, endurance 50, charisma 62, willpower 64. So we're doing pretty well across the board. Of course, our endurance is a little lower than I would have liked personally, but because of that massive, that +10 or -10 endurance debuff, like we just couldn't get this any real higher. But our intelligence, like coupled with the overall good perception, this is going to be absolutely devastating in my opinion. At least from just the outside in, I should say. So let's go ahead and start, and let's see what we can get into. And this right here is a picture of French and Indian War, because these are French uniforms. Hired 2 regiments, one from Pennsylvania, one from Virginia, support the Patriot cause. I traveled to Massachusetts with the 2 regiments, eager to join the fight against the British. The Patriot Army was in need of reinforcements, and arrival of 2 hired regiments is a welcome sight. I must quickly integrate the new soldiers in the battle plans and lead them into action. All right, let's go ahead and pause real quick so we can get a look at the overall scope of things. So right now we're completely within Massachusetts. We're right outside of Boston. Technically speaking, the pan of the camera, so we're looking from west to east on this, because or at least I think we should be west to east. We've got our army here, so we have our 2 regiments, and we can these guys already start leveled up, so click here and then we can get our attributes. So our tier 1 perks, discipline training plus willpower plus efficiency, endurance course plus stamina plus efficiency. So these guys, same as in in Civil War. And then we have assault course, firearms course, and marksman training, same thing as in Civil War. And then elite and sharpshooter, same thing as in Civil War. So these are the same perks that you get from Civil War. So overall, the condition is going to be important, but in a stand-up fight, willpower in Civil War terms, it would have been discipline. Discipline was always like the thing to go for, especially because your infantry are meant to take hits. Your infantry are meant to hold the line, maintain the line, and then proceed to take hits as they go. So we are definitely, I'm going to go with willpower on this one, on this first one. When we start getting more forces, I do create assault style infantry where I go endurance, assault course, and elite. those troops become my breakthrough troops. They're usually my second line guys that are held in reserve. I see a break in the line that can be exploited. I send them in, open up that break, and then send my forces through that break. That's usually how I play. So, um, so we got a couple options here. So we have loot, own, or enemy region in a fast way for acquiring supplies and resources. Looted facilities in the region and its settlements will be damaged and will need repairs. So this is a good way to take resources from the enemy if you're in an enemy region and be able to, as you can see these lines here, these denote the regions. A good way to steal resources from the enemy while helping yourself. Foraging own or enemy region is a fast way for acquiring provisions for your troops. Forage facilities in the region and settlements will be damaged and will need repairs. This one is probably best to use in your own regions because I would imagine that the damage done is not nearly as extensive. And then morale boost, raise units morale for rum. It says we have 5 rum. At least that's what I'm denoting from that. And you can only do this if your morale is sub 50. So, and then we have supply with provisions, supply with ammunition, supply with recruits. So this is a priority button, so you'll be able to supply your forces, your individual regiments with a different thing, and then you can also prioritize supply. So, like, say for example, we have units that are really statted out, they're really experienced, they're really hardened troops. We want to supply those forces first before our new regiments get supplied. So, because these guys are experienced troops already, we're going to prioritize their supply because we want these guys to be at full strength at all times to be able to prevent them from falling behind. Now we see this, so we see recruits, losses from disease, deserters, and combat losses. So I don't know what the maximum number of troops in a regiment is. I unfortunately I maybe 480 is the maximum number. But it looks like we can take natural attrition. So natural attrition is in the game apparently with diseases and deserters. I suspect deserters are only really a problem when the morale is low, and then diseases probably are just like a natural attrition that occurs. Um, and then let's continue looking. So we have standard map mode, control map mode. Okay, cool. We can get an overall look at what we've got going on here. Loyalty map mode, so we can see the loyalty of the different areas. As we can see, we have some high loyalty provinces here, and then we have some mid loyalty provinces in these 3 parts here where the British have control. So if we come back over here, control. Well, actually, no, this area we do control. So these areas here we have higher loyalty in, so we'll probably try to prioritize taking them, cut off Boston from the outside, and just basically lay siege like we did in the actual revolution. And then C map mode, we have our different control zones as well. So the Brits have ships in all these regions. We don't know how many. We don't know how many guns on those ships. So we have mining and supply network. Okay, so mining, okay, so this is kind of cool. I forgot about this in this. They said that they were going to be doing this. That they were going to introduce resource management into the game. And this is the thing is most people don't know this actually. Funny enough, I've actually ran into quite a few people who don't know this. The guy who founded Game Labs and is lead developer that leads these projects is none other than Darth Vader, who is famed for his Darth mods for Total War. So they have slowly worked in resource management into the games over time, and I think this is just another, oh, we're putting more in now. So we can go ahead and look. We have wood. It is auto harvested in regions with forests. The presence of a mine in the region increases the harvested quantities of wood. This is required for various items production. Iron, extracted by mines in the region with iron deposits, required in hand weapons production. And then wheat, the strategic resource, grows in specific regions to boost the agricultural facilities provisions outcome, or I believe that should be output. Coal extracted by mines is required for ammunition and guns production. Saltpeter is required for ammunition production. And those are the only resources that we are looking at right now. So as you can see, we have 1 coal, 1 iron, 2 wood, 1 wheat. We don't have any saltpeter, and we definitely want to have more wheat because we need to be able to feed the troops. So it looks like, yes, these regions right here are going to be our priority when it comes to taking territory. So that is cool. Now, in the case of supply lines, legitimate, like actual supply lines are in the game now. So we can see we have stored provisions 25 out of 20, ammunition stored 2 out of 2. As you can see, the supply lines are linked. I believe this is what's in order to move supplies from point A to point B, you have to have a supply line from one place to another. And it looks like, I'm guessing, so these 2 cities, I believe, are connected to the outside world already, denoted by the stars involved with it, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Unfortunately, we'll have to learn as we go. And then we should be able to create an army here. So we'll create an army, and then this force will move as 1. So let's move them up to Lancaster. Like so. We are suffering losses due to natural attrition, which is fine. If we go ahead and pause real quick, we can look. Okay, so we have our financial report up here. So this shows our income and our expenses. We currently have 15,900 in the bank. Materials report, we have. Okay, so I'm guessing. I'm not sure how this is going to work into it, but I'm guessing there is a way to do things with the buildings and whatnot. So if like we come over here, Chief Engineer Department is not established in HQ. Okay. All right. And so we have 21,604. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So we've got a breakdown of the population within the location. So, interesting. Here's our 1 warship, the USS Providence. She's a 30-gun frigate. The picture denotes a double-deck frigate. Okay, so she is in fact a proper frigate. What is this? I'm guessing that's just the supplies that are accessible for the Navy, I'm guessing, maybe? I don't know what that is. Portsmouth has a dock which increases ship production, which I'm guessing, do ships just get built over time, or do we actually have to queue them up? Like, what's going on with that? So it's saying here, because Chief Engineer Department is not established in HQ. Okay, so how do we go about that? So we have our regiments. This shows what regiments we have. Oh, per region. Oh, nice. Okay, I like that. Our ports. Here's the USS Providence. And then ships. So our ship is currently in port, so it's not going to be showing up here, but it'll show up here. And then we have our garrisons, which are the 90 men currently garrisoned in Portsmouth. All right. Let's just continue on. Concord and Lexington. Okay, so Patriots have stored valuable military supplies in the small town of Concord. The British have taken a notice and now approach with a significant force. Will you help them defend? So we can. I will urge in the commanding the local Patriot forces, or I can choose not to. But this gets me increased reputation, which is denoted up here. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's the reputation. So let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so Battle of Concord, we're on the defense. The British are attacking into us. The British are attempting to advance to Concord and seize the Patriots' stashed weapons and ammo. The stashed weapons and ammunition are vital for our cause and must be saved at all cost. We have reports that Patriots from all near counties are on their way. We must slow down the British down until they arrive. Good luck, General. Okay, cool. So very, very nice looking map. Much, much more defined, just like Age of Sail. We're going to go ahead and have our forces set up in a skirmish position in the front, and then we'll bring these forces. Okay, so these are skirmishers. We'll have them come up. So we have one infantry regiment, three skirmisher companies. Sorry, I read the 5 here, and that's why I said. Alright, so we have so that's what that denotes, is the uniform. Okay, so that's our infantry. So black jacket is infantry, green jacket is skirmishers. Okay, so we'll move the first infantry up to establish a position at the farm here, and then we will pull back our forces as we need to. All right, pull these guys back. Let them fall back a little bit. We're just pulling a delaying action until the infantry is in position, and then we can pull the skirmishers back once they do get into position. Oh, I like that. Like, some of them are kneeling and whatnot, just like, and this is the thing, is you'll take note that the skirmishers are irregular infantry. They're not the normal infantry that most people are accustomed to. All right, have these guys form back up. And again, we're just delaying. We're causing casualties. We're causing issues. And as more forces are able to come onto the field, we'll bring them up. One of the tendencies for people is to try to fall back immediately in this game. You don't necessarily want to do that, simply because if you do, it can lead to problems. You want to slowly fortify your position, especially in this kind of battle where you're getting a stream of reinforcements from off the map. Let's actually... Okay, we got 2 more companies of skirmishers coming in. We'll send these guys off to this side. And we'll start pulling these guys back a little by little. And we'll just continuously cause problems for the British. We'll bring these guys onto the wide flank. All right, so now they're going to start engaging on the infantry in the farm. I'm going to try to move the infantry here. And we got a unit. Okay, so we have 2 units on the wide flanks completely exposed, so we can actually use this to our advantage. If we can get these other skirmishers into position quickly. Because what we can do is we can pinch these units slowly but steadily. Alright, that unit's routing, but that's fine. This infantry is slowly moving up. Okay, so we're getting a lot more infantry now. So what we'll do is we'll move these units specifically to reinforce the depot itself. Alright, so the Brits have engaged in melee here, and we're slowly but surely willing down these units. We're not expecting to hold. Okay, so that unit's starting to lose quite a few men. So let's go ahead and pull them back, and then we'll just start reinforcing the depot. All right, so we've lost the farm, but it is all right. They broke one of the shattered one of the units completely, but that's fine. We've delayed them quite a bit. Let's see if we can bring these guys around to capture the supply wagons. Just keep falling back, boys. All right, the depot is going to be sufficiently garrisoned. So we're in a good position overall. All right, so the depot is getting reinforced. Oh, we got 250 men here, so we can bring them up to the center. And we can go ahead, bring these guys back in. Oh, okay, so we just had those guys get shattered on the supply wagon. Supply wagon is not weak anymore, boys. Alright, so they reinforced this flank sufficiently, but they... Oh, crap. These guys are getting flanked. But now the enemy is in a position where they have to assault the depot itself, and it's not gonna be a good time for anybody. Let's bring these guys around to this flank. We'll hold these two smaller units in reserve, and we'll swing these two bigger units like so. Alright. Actually, you guys come in behind them. Actually, we'll have you guys move on the flank, and then we'll have you guys move through the center there. We got even more forces. Oh my god. It's just like the actual Battle of Concord and Lexington. Oh my god. For those who don't know, the British... I'm going to go ahead and pause for this explanation. The British showed up at the Battle of Concord and Lexington with 700 men. The battle itself it was like 72 versus 700 at uh, at Lexington, and then at Concord, the number of forces that ended up routing the British force was around 2 to 3,000 all total, or something like that. Like there was a huge number of troops that showed up for the fight. And it was an absolute debacle on the retreat because the British, while they didn't lose a lot of men initially in the fighting at Concord and Lexington, they lost a horrendous number of men, comparatively speaking, to the after uh, the after party, as I like to refer to it as, where the colonials were just harassing them the entire time on the way there, or on their way back, I should say, to Boston. And so it was just an absolute debacle for the British. And this is this is turning into that battle. We're gonna send these 4 regiments to the flank to reinforce, and then we're just gonna hold. And we've done a significant amount of damage. Like, the casualties are probably going to be just as high on both sides. Let's go ahead and our skirmishers held the flanks well enough to prevent the enemy from being able to drive a force directly into the depot. So we're doing quite well in that regard. Let's go ahead and march these units out and start attacking directly. Now you might be curious, why am I holding, such a large, those 2 regiments in reserve? Simply because they are, they're not. I want to use them to fill in the gaps of the depot whenever gaps open up. So I always want to make sure I have some reserves available for that. And then we're just going to march these guys around. We're just going to whoop. Well, we kind of already have that going. We actually have 2 different flanks going on right now. This is actually this would be a terrible situation for any military to be in right now, where you're actually having a small section of your force completely cut off from the rest, while then also being flanked at the same time. I forget what this specific strategy is referred to. But it is not a situation that anybody wants to find themselves in. Let's see if we can fall back out of the range of these guys and actually force these guys to engage one another. But yeah, no, this is not a situation where you want to be in right now. This is not a good situation for anybody. So we got a melee developing right here. That's fine. This is why we held a reserve. Unfortunately, the British troops are equipped and statted to fight melee like that, so it's just something we're going to have to deal with. But what we're going to do is we're going to just charge this unit right here. We're just going to wipe them off the map real quick. Because with just the number of forces collapsing on them. And then we'll have these guys march down this way. So we are taking losses, but this right here would actually be the most disastrous engagement possible for the British, because this kind of stand-up fight is just not something that they don't have enough troops in the colonies at this point in time to actually do anything. And if this kind of stand-up fight had actually happened, it would have been devastating. That's why they retreated like they did. So if we can just lay in some more fire there, try to force this unit off the field. And we're just gonna continue the flank. So yeah, the Brits, their advantage is the melee. Like that's the unfortunate problem here, is that their advantage is in the melee, and so they're just able to continuously assault our positions and just completely annihilate us. Let's see if we can get these skirmishers, like so, as we march towards the farm with these 3 regiments. Actually, we'll pull this regiment in tight to provide more support. And the depot's holding perfectly fine. Everything is good. We got these units back here that are not doing anything. Let's go ahead and pull them back up. Unfortunately, we don't have a general to actually support this defense, so we do have that issue. And now we've got these skirmishers. Oh, are they charging the skirmish? Oh, okay. Leave your defensive position in the tree line to engage in melee with a couple skirmishers. Yeah, because that seems like a very logical situation, AI. Casualty-wise, it's probably going to be in favor of the British, because the British just have trained troops. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can really do in that regard. You know, we're literally using nothing more than, you know, a bunch of militia. But we've got an excellent situation here where, you know, we've wrapped the flank. We're now threatening their rear. There's absolutely nothing they can do. And this is the thing. This is actually a strategy you can use in Ultimate General Civil War, is where you recruit a lot of just raw recruits. And you can use them because, generally speaking, manpower is never a problem. Let's go ahead and get a countercharge going. Oh, we actually captured the 10th foot. Very nice. Let's get another countercharge going. We captured the 18th foot. So we have captured the 23rd foot. Oh man, I would not want to be a British officer in this battle. And we're just going to continue. We're just going to continue what we're doing. Just keep wrapping the flank, keep constricting. Unfortunately, the condition of our forces is quite horrendous right now. Now, you might be wondering, why haven't I tried to completely enclose them? You don't want to do that. Give an out for the enemy, because the AI will retreat. If they don't have anywhere to go, then they're, you know, just going to stand and fight. At least generally speaking, that is a mechanic that has existed in most of these types of games for a long time. Let's go ahead and just send these guys over here. Let's have these guys get into these fortifications and just start laying down hate. Let's go ahead and get a charge on these guys. And let's see if we can clean up this battlefield right now. Just get a bunch of charges going to finish them off. Oh no. Bunch of units just surrendered all at once. All right. Well, this is not historically accurate because the British would have retreated by now. Ooh, and they got two-star on that one. This is an ahistorical battle, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and speed 3 it real quick. I suspect that the Brits are going to run away and try to find a place to hide. Let's just get a charge going. Captured the two-star and shattered that last one. All right, cool. And we are done. All right, so army strength, 31,000 or 3,100 for our side, 1,200 for the British. So it's an ahistorical number of units, anyways, because the British only brought 700 men to the fight. Casualties and losses, just over 1,000 on our side, but just as actually probably over 1,100. I'm not doing the math right now. But basically, the entire British force was wiped out. And this right here would have been an absolute freaking devastating situation for the British, because losing this number of men this early in the war, it would have invigorated the American cause even harder than conquering Lexington did, but also it would have absolutely annihilated the garrison of Boston at the time, meaning Boston might actually have fallen if they had lost this many troops. And then if we come here real quick, we can go ahead and see. So the Arlington militia killed over 100 men. Are these listed? Okay, so I believe. Okay, so it's listing. Okay, so as you can see, the British troops outperformed our forces almost completely, but because we were able to bring such mass to the field, can we turn this off? Okay, so yeah, we'll use it like this. As you can see, again, the militia forces did not perform well whatsoever, but again, our mass was able to win us the battle and be able to easily overtake them like that. Again, an absolutely devastating fucking defeat for the British at the time, or would have been. I do like that whole the Stamp Act, T Act thing right there. All right, we pushed back the British, kept our supplies, and picked up loot from the withdrawing enemy. Moreover, we now have a full regiment of militia patriots willing to fight for us. So plus 1,000 weapons, 315 recruits. Oh, that's a regiment with 350. Okay, so this is a regiment, and it starts with 1 star. Very nice. And then with this, it's just 1,000 of the civilian muskets. These are the standard. These are like the farmer muskets, or the Springfield 1842, 1848s, 1842s. I forget which year the starting ones were. Okay, so we now have more forces available. Can we deploy those forces at all? Oh, okay, they're up here. So we need to, I think, travel to get them. And then we can add them to our army. we'll go ahead and do. Well, actually, there. So can I see the stats of the individual units within the regiment? Oh, oh, shit. Okay, okay. I didn't realize that there was a. Oh, okay. I didn't realize this at first, but there's a breakdown of the individual units within the regiment. So we start with 3 militia, and it looks like these guys, their melee stats are elevated because of that battle. Um, we're still going to go discipline training on these guys because I want to form a core of the army that is like our frontline foot infantry, and then we'll start working on the other stuff, and then we'll increase the priority of supply to these guys since they are vetted up. But we have so here's Concord on the map. I actually didn't realize that. So we have Concord. I suspect that this is supposed to be represent Lexington since it's going that way. We do need to get information on several of the other areas of the map. So in this case, we need to, get word on Newport and on Providence, Middleborough, because we need to secure the South to drive north towards the enemy. But now that we have this extra regiment, we'll go ahead and have them join the army. Are these proper soldiers? Oh, these are proper soldiers. Oh, fuck. Okay, these are proper infantry, and then these are militiamen. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to move down towards Newport. Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna play this. So we're gonna move down towards Newport, and we will then proceed to take the road from Hartford to Newport, secure that for ourselves, and go from there. Portsmouth, we really can't do anything with until uh, until afterwards, but we are going to get our ship out here. Okay, so these are supply convoys. These are supply ships that are out here fighting. So we're going to send out the USS Providence to engage with the enemy ships. Okay, so we'll have them come out here and do their thing while we march towards. So Providence has 240 men in the garrison. Newport's probably going to have a few more. And then we have enough here to raise another regiment. So let's go ahead. Jay Richardson is looking pretty solid across the board. It's got good stats. And then let's go ahead and we'll add some extra forces, and then we'll go ahead and get some artillery on this as well, because we're going to need artillery to break open these places. Can I not? Okay, okay, there we go. Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, the Continental Congress commissioned you as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. You were selected over other candidates based on your previous military experience and hoped that a leader from Virginia would help unite the colonies. Oh, okay. Uh, okay. Interesting. Oh, and our goal is to take Providence. Okay, I didn't realize this. So we're going to attack Newport and then Providence. This will. So let's go ahead and go like so. Then we'll have this new regiment move up as well. All right, assign projects at the headquarters. So we have the quartermaster. Department will enable market and storage, allow a trade of equipment, goods, and resources. The department will also allow you to elaborate various projects for an advancing support of your army. Engineering department. Engineering department will enable construction and production to develop your infrastructure, economy, and production of military equipment for your army. The department will also allow you to elaborate various projects that will advance further the engineering of your military and civilian infrastructure and the design of weapons for your army. The engineering department will offer the artillery department research project. I'm gonna go ahead and get the engineering department first because that's what's going to allow us to start building. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to Newport. All right, so we got a battle between the USS Providence and the USS Carnell. It says it's an even battle, I'm guessing by that metric or something, but that's 30-gun frigate versus 12-gun sloop. Oh, why is the Providence already, like, uber damaged? So this plays out just like Age of Sail. So we already know these controls. There must have been auto battles going on with the warship, so you have to be very, very mindful of your warships because they will auto battle apparently. So be very, very, very mindful. The hull is at 96%, so looks like the majority of the damage is the sails. Just gonna sit here and just pelt your butt. This is so goofy. Alright, let's see if we can get close enough, because I'd love to capture this. Because free ship is free ship. Alright, looks like we didn't disable it. Okay, turn this way, turn this way. You're gonna turn quicker. Turn faster! Red uns go faster! See, I don't remember what half of the UI means. Okay, so that's the health, and they're on fire. So now they're dead. Once a ship in this... Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. And now they're leaking. Okay, so we're not capturing it, but we just kill it. You know what? One less ship for the British. Oh, okay, took down one of our mess. Cool. All right. And then we'll send the USS Providence back to port. Oh, it's already been an hour on this. Oh my god. Okay, well, I do apologize for that, everybody. I should have been paying attention to the time. But let's go ahead and sail back to port. But we are in the process of laying siege to are they going to travel? Oh, okay. Laying siege to Newport. Once we take Newport, we will advance on Providence and go from there. So anyways, guys, have a good one.